The following program contains the opinions of the host, guests, and call-in participants. These do not necessarily represent the views of this show's distributors or sponsors. This program may contain obscene, profane, or otherwise objectionable language. Viewer discretion is advised. Yes, hello. Hello from Minneapolis. Hi. It's Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. It's 11 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States, 8 p.m. on the West Coast, 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Sydney, Australia, and here in Elon Omer's district in Northeast Minneapolis, it's 10 o'clock Central Daylight Time. I am Jim Peters. Welcome to another edition of Jim Peters Tonight. This is episode number 105 for those of you keeping score at home. And yeah, we took last night off. I'm sorry about that. We took 3 days off last week. I'm sorry about that. And we're taking tomorrow night off again. Sorry about that. Which means in the last 2 weeks, we've taken 5 shows off. But I got to do what I got to do, you know? I'll tell you, we got, I mentioned this on Monday. We got new cameras here. We got new lights. Now we're installing a new internet connection. It's about twice as fast as the previous one. We finally have fiber optic in our building. So we are upgrading. That's what we're doing. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Our guest tonight, Jeff Meyer, the CEO and publisher of CONK News, and also I got to talk. I got a little verklempt here, flummoxed before we went on live here because I'm queuing up the CONK front page, which I do for every show when we do they're our sponsor, and I want to show the front page. I showed in real time. In other words, the page I show you is actually off of a browser window. It's live. And so I pulled up the CONK front page to put it in the queue, the video queue. And there's an article on there that really, really pissed me off. And we're going to talk about that. I told Jeff, if you're listening, I haven't put Jeff on yet, but if you're listening, we're going to move the CONK commercial to the front because I want to talk about this. Because God, I swear to God, this Joe Biden guy is going to fucking ruin the country. Unfucking believable. More and more bullshit. So anyway, what do we got going on here? We got a lot. We got it going on. I'll tell you. I know you don't know that it's really true. We do. We do. So Jeff's on tonight. We're taking tomorrow night off. Yeah. Next week, we got on Wednesday. We got we're filling out the month with guests now. We got the dynamic duos on Wednesday. That's Jennifer Oliver O'Connell from Red State and Jeff Meyer. So he's coming on 2 weeks in a row. Had a little bit of a schedule mix up there, but we're doing that. And that's fine because you love him. I know I call him Mr. Warmth, kind of off of Don Rickles on the Tonight Show. But, but that dates me too. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm old, I'm fat, and I'm no longer attractive. But I still have great hair. That I got. I got the hair. I still got the hair. The rest of it's gone to hell. My new nickname's Captain Cupcake. You can call me that now if you want to call in, and we'll get to that in just a second. So Thursday night next week, we're having on Leigh Richardson. She is the founder of the Brain Performance Center in Dallas. She's a psychologist by training, and she deals with psychology and brain function. That's what she does. Now, specifically, she has a new book out. I'm sorry, I did not write down the title. My apologies. But, when she comes on, we'll have all that stuff queued up. And the book is about how people's diets, her contention is that the primary reason people in America are getting so depressed is because our diets are so bad. In other words, it's a biochemical thing. It has nothing to do with emotions per se. That's what she thinks. My wife thinks that too. We've done 105 shows. My wife has never seen this. She's a good liberal girl, and she just refuses to watch. But she said she might actually watch the show. She's been talking about that forever too. And as a matter of fact, it's interesting. Jeff's wife is also a trained foodologist or whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. She might find it interesting too. But yeah, that's Miss Richardson. She's coming on Thursday. So that'll be interesting. Then the following Thursday on the 25th, we have Kathleen Marden, and I've been promoting this for like 2 months. She is the niece of Betty Hill, of Betty and Barney Hill fame, basically the first documented alien abduction in America in 1961. And she was 16 at the time, and this story so rocked their family that she basically became a professional UFO researcher. She's written numerous books. She was Stanton Friedman's writing partner. He was arguably, until he passed away 6 years ago, the most prominent and most respected researcher in the UFO field, mostly because he was a working nuclear physicist. He was a real-time, big-time scientist, and he decided he decided your government is lying to you. That's what he decided, and he basically got on a plane and walked and toured all over the world talking about it. And actually, he made a pretty good living talking about it too. At some point, no, I don't know if that's actually true. That he actually quit working as a scientist, but he made a very good living giving speeches on the UFO conundrum. So anyway, she's going to be here a week from tomorrow. 2 weeks from tomorrow. Leigh Richardson's going to be here a week from tomorrow. What do I know what I'm talking about? Okay, you want to call up here tonight? You want to talk to Jeff and I? This is what I'm going to recommend. You can call up with your camera, and if you go down, the front of it, I might take this off when Jeff comes on, but you can call up with your video camera, you go to jimatnight.com/call. That's not the instructions. You actually have to go to that webpage to actually get on. There's a button, a big blue button at the top of the screen. You push that button and you're in the video queue. It's simple. It's easier than making a FaceTime call. No lie. I know it's kind of weird. It's a browser interface for video, which is unusual, but this works out great for us. And it was an easy way to solve a problem. How do we get your webcam on the show? So we figured this out, and yeah, that's what you do. You press that big blue button. But tonight, I'm going to ask you if you want to join in, because there's 2 people on the screen, and we want to see Jeff's a very attractive man, so we want to definitely look at him. Call the audio line. That's 563-999-3435. You talk to a sexy British lady answers the phone, and you talk to her for a little while. She's a recording, but you don't know the difference. You got a woman paying attention to you. That's all you care about. so and she'll keep you in the queue until it's time, until I put you on. So yeah, and I encourage you to do that. We'd love to have visitors. Lately, more and more people are calling in. I'm happy to, and I want to mention that too. So on Monday, Think called in again. It's like, I think the 3rd time he has. If you're listening, Think, if you're watching this, would you go to the contact page at jimatnight.com and send me an email? I'd appreciate it. You had a very fascinating discussion about Bitcoin, and we'll have to talk to Jeff about this too, because after 15 years of bitching about this, I finally decided that maybe I'm wrong. So, and then finally, you can send us a text at 408-458-5088. I can manage the text in real time. I'm looking at a screen here right now where they come in. So if you don't want to actually talk to us, but you have a comment, please text it. Do not put your comments in the chat pages on our various video distributors, because I will not see them. So I don't monitor that stuff. I know a lot of people who do this. That's kind of a big deal. But the thing is, we're on 5 different platforms right now. We got booted off of Facebook. I'm smiling. We're on 5 different platforms, and I don't want to, you can't communicate among each other. So this is the solution we've come up with. You can text us in real time. I'm looking at this, and we will get the text and we read it, and we do that sort of thing. So, without any further ado, I think we're going to put Jeff Meyer in. I think that's all I got for these. I got these announcements. So let's do that. I'm going to press some buttons here. You're going to hear some theme music, and Jeff Meyer is coming on. Here goes. Yes, hello. Oh, sorry, wake you up. Did I wake you up?
No. I'm here. I'm alive.
From a 6-car garage in Prior Lake, Minnesota, it's Jeff Meyer. How are you, guy?
I'm good. Spring is here. The lakes
Hey,
are
it is.
open.
I don't know if you heard any of what I was talking about, but if you don't mind, I told you we were going to do the CONK
Yeah.
commercial at the end. I want to do it right now because when I was queuing up the page, there's an article here that really, really pisses me off, and I want your feedback on it. So let's put it
That's
on
why
now
you go to that's why you go to conk.com.
to get pissed off. That's right. Middle
All in one
article.
place.
I can't scroll this because I got it in the frame here, but you'll see, and this is from the New York Post. It says Biden wants to follow foolish California and ban freelancing. I did read a little of the article, and they basically recategorize freelancing in California to make it quote unquote employment. And he said that according to this article, the Labor Department's already come up with 300 pages of regulations to do this. This is bullshit.
Yes. Yeah. And next week when Jennifer's on, we worked together. She went out to Washington for some meetings with some Congress people in regards to this. So it'll be interesting to get her input because this affects people like her directly, right?
Yes. It
She's
affects
an independent.
sorry.
She's an independent business person that writes articles to sell to whatever news source wants them. And yeah, this is just true government overreach. And if you think it's not going to affect you because you work wherever, you work for 3M or Target, well, when they lay you off and you want to take your specialty that you have to several small businesses because no one will hire you directly, you'll get trapped in this and you won't get hired at all.
Yeah, or conversely, Jeff, if you work for like 3M and you're employing these people in your department, all of a sudden they're going to disappear, which means you're either going to have to hire more permanent people or go without, and you're screwed either way.
Yeah, I never worry about regulation that could screw the publicly traded companies. They get what they get.
Yeah.
I always worry about the people that get laid off from them and then want to experience the American dream of having their own business. And this will shut that down to some degree. But again, this is the stuff that has to happen to get enough people pinched into the vice of, I'm never going to let this happen again. And so, unfortunately, we have to go down this rat hole with these people. Ignorant, Joe Biden has no idea what the private sector is, how it functions.
No, he doesn't.
Right. And so they'll meddle in it like they always do. And again, my motto this year is vote Democrat. Let's let them finish the job. There's no reason. I mean, I still think Trump is miscalculating. He should have sat out this election and let some other, Nikki Haley try to beat Biden, which he couldn't have. If Trump wins, he's going to have to be working 48 hours a day to kill the swamp. And I just don't know if there's enough time in 4 years to do that, but he has to be extremely radical, like in the first 10 days, get rid of probably 15 departments, like the Department of Education.
Yeah.
All those worthless departments to shock the system that
right.
We're going to disrupt this thing and you're going to be okay.
Now, as far as I know, I don't think the president can formally shut some of this stuff down, but like he can fire like 95% of the employees.
Yeah, you got it. And that's what he'll have to do, is do it through just reducing the head count in the department. So they die on the vine.
Before you go on, I just want to point out, so yeah, this is your company here. You run CONK News. This is at CONK.com, CONK.com, 75 news sources, updates every 3 hours. You can spend hours plowing through this. And the headlines are all original. The pictures are from the articles directly, and the links go directly to the articles. I mean, this is a fabulous resource. I use it all the time. And like you said.
Yeah, the interesting thing is this article to the left where where it says Bidenomics update. I looked at that earlier. That's from Hot Air. and the statistics in there, overall prices during the Biden administration are up 19.4%. And, they thought they got cute with Bidenomics, that word, because the media doesn't know anything. So they just took it and ran with it. Well, it's forever imprinted on the interweb, right? If you Google Bidenomics, it's just, you can't flush it out of there. It's everywhere. And, gasoline is up 47.8%, groceries 21%, eating out 21%, baby food, pet food, rent, electricity, natural gas, airfare, public transportation. And the real average weekly earnings is down 4%.
Isn't that great? So
you take whatever number one of these are, you add 4%.
Right.
So gas in theory is up 51% in your life. Again, this is doom and gloom, but we have to realize hope here is a strategy. I tell the businesses I consult with, to their salespeople, hope isn't a strategy. You can't sit in a parking lot and hope the customer inside that building is going to buy from you. That is not a strategy.
Right.
But in our daily life here, we have to have hope. And in America, we should have tons of hope. One, these political parties can go away very quickly because we can vote. And we get to vote every 2 years. So you can start in this year, 2024, with an election revolution of voting for the new people. Doesn't matter the party, just keep the new people flooding in. You'll systematically shut down the uniparty.
And right? I just want to point out, Jeff, that's been your thing for a long time. I think it's really brilliant, and that is just vote against the incumbent. Doesn't matter who it is.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
No, never do they get 2 terms. And just, they're not important. There's enough laws, there's enough regulations for the next 1,000 years.
Oh, fuck, there is. Yes. And this has been my complaint for the longest time. We have basically, until Barack Obama came along, we're on the verge of, I would say, basically more or less practically perfecting society. We had enough laws. Everything was running relatively well, and then these people, these little fucking snot-nosed kids, they want to come in and they've decided they want to rewrite everything because of yay Marxism or whatever the fuck it is, and nothing works. Nothing. So now we have I'm going to go through my outline here. I'm going to actually jump ahead. Now we have a government that's basically completely gaslighting us. They lie about every fucking thing. So you're talking about those inflation numbers. Job numbers came out last Monday, right? And this, they're crowing about the fact that 303,000 jobs are supposedly created. That number turns out to be complete bullshit. It's bullshit. First of all, 25% of those jobs are with the federal government. Secondly, 70% of them are part-time. And third, the majority of the people that were employed last month are illegal immigrants. No fucking lie. It turns out that no jobs. There were no fucking jobs. The number is just bullshit. There's no context. There's nothing. And so they're going around there and looking at fucking. I mean, God, it just pisses me off so much. They don't know how to do anything except lie.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when you look at it on a timeline, the quote greatest generation, right? The ones that kind of defeated the evil of the world, born the biggest generation of fucking idiots. This is the boomer generation kids, and they're all fucking idiots.
Yeah, that's right.
Hillary Clinton's an idiot.
Yes, she is. Right? Absolutely.
She has no business doing anything, but she got swept up in this. We're super smart because we have a college education and we're lawyers.
Yeah, right.
And they've been able to affect every legislature across the country. And because of that, state legislatures they're loaded with former school teachers, former school administrators, and attorneys. Those people have no idea how the world works.
No, well, the real problem is, and you and I have talked about this many times, people with real jobs and real lives and of real achievement don't want to go into politics. The people that go into politics are losers.
Yeah. Well, look at Mitch McConnell. His family fortune's estimated up around $50 million. Now, can you tell me what Mitch McConnell car you drive or web service you use or a clothing line you use or socks? How are your Mitch McConnell socks?
I can't.
Right? Even the patch-eyed guy was on CONK today. The patch-eyed guy, that Dan. He's a, whatever.
Yeah.
Crenshaw, right?
Right, Crenshaw, yeah.
Pulling at your heartstrings because he lost his eye in combat and all that stuff. That bastard has gone from with $170,000 salary to worth $4.4 million because of his stock trading. Yeah. I mean, it's all insider stock. That's why these people won't let go. And that goes back to my core philosophy. Vote for the new person. It doesn't matter. Don't give them a second chance.
Yeah. Oh man, I get depressed.
Okay, how about all the talk between X about this fake moon landing, which I've said to you for years, we never landed on the moon.
Hold it, Jeff. I've been following this. Is there new information on this?
I saw today that Stanley Kubrick back in the 90s did a interview where he said he filmed these. He was the filmmaker of the fake landings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now that's interesting because that's been rumored for years that he did it. Yes. That was the rumor.
It was kind of an admission before he died.
Yeah.
And again, he talked about he was in the middle of filming Eyes Wide Shut, and he says, "I just want to remind people I'm doing this film so you understand how much you're lied to. How many secrets are happening around you don't know about?" He said, and I happened to do it about this underground sex thing just because I knew it would catch people's attention. But yes, in the mid-'60s, he was contacted by NASA to set up to shoot these fake moon landings.
Huh. Wow. That's amazing.
And it's everywhere. If you look around X, it's all over the place. There's all sorts of people that have their 2 cents, which is what we want in a free society with free speech. It's up to you, the listener or the consumer of that news, to figure out if you're getting pissed in your ear and told it's raining, or if they have a point you can go out and legitimize.
You know, people like you running CONK News, I mean, the only reason we're going to get out of this quandary is because of free speech. That's the only reason.
Yes.
I mean, if we didn't even we're the only country in the world that really has true free speech. Even you go to Britain, you know, they have some restrictions, and they're getting fucked over there. They're getting screwed. I don't know if you've been following this.
Well, and again, I want to make sure people are clear. The speech that we really want protected is the speech we don't want to hear. It's the people that are in Dearborn, Michigan saying down with America.
Right.
Because as an American, you need to stop and say, why would they say that? What have the lies our government has told us? JFK got assassinated from behind when everything shows he was shot from the front.
Right. Funny you should mention that, because there's a video going around about that too. And I've
seen that one. But again, and so the free speech, if you can't tolerate someone that says death to America, you should go to a third world country to where a dictator is, because if they challenge that, you should be able to say, well, hold on here. Why do you say that? And let them explain their side. They may have experienced something you never have because you were born here and conditioned here and you believe the big lie. And that's what the free speech is, the key to getting through it.
And the thing about the Death to America thing is that if you were able to somehow legally squash that, you wouldn't know those people exist.
Right.
The reason we know is because they're fucking idiots in the square in Dearborn, Michigan, yelling this shit. That's how we know.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
so what? They can yell it all they want.
Yeah. Yeah, but the
And
thing,
that's
I mean, my point is, if there's anything nefarious going on there, we have some warning, you know?
yeah, right.
They're
Right.
advertising it.
And again, we should question, why do they think this? What has happened to them to think death to America? Is it because they came from Somalia where our military went in there and just blasted everyone? I mean, Rogan had a former military guy on today explaining the whole thing going on in Israel. And again, until you can have a discussion and hear the other person's side of the story, I don't know. Okay, what happened that you say death to America?
Well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, and this is our friend Tim Conaway talking to us, and he's gonna be saying to us, "You guys are overthinking this, or just plain fucking crazy," and it might be true.
Might be true.
Yeah,
Fine. I mean, I'm not saying there's a two-sided coin there,
yeah,
but the truth is somewhere in the middle.
yeah,
You know, if America dies, dude, you can't say anything anywhere.
yeah. That's
Free
right.
speech is dead.
I mean, that's what's going on in Britain right now. I
Yeah.
mean, in Scotland now they have a law now that you can't even say like quote unquote hate speech supposedly in your house. I mean, it's like they've completely cracked down on this. But then everybody online, this is where the free speech thing comes on, and have pointed out how all the people in their parliament in Scotland have already basically violated their own laws. You know, so
Right.
well, you should go to prison. You know, it's like just stupid.
Yeah, let's lock them up. And
Oh,
again, they never, it's like that article you showed on at the CONK.com. They never think of the long deal when they're writing
Nobody
this
does.
legislation.
I don't understand. Why don't they? Why are they so stupid? I mean, I think,
Well,
but
we have a perfect system, though. Remember, the legislative branch can write this shit. The courts are in place to ferret out if it's actually legal or not.
yeah,
And so there was a case in Minnesota where it's a real estate case where some nonprofits were claiming this and that. And, so the legislature wrote all this stuff, then got caught in a kind of a double jeopardy. Like, well, if you're a nonprofit and you're giving, you're renting an apartment to someone who's super low income, like at 70% below the median income, the state was saying, well, someone's got to pay the property tax. And like, well, it's a nonprofit. The building was built to be rented to the low income. And the state saying, well, maybe the person that's renting it should pay some kind of property tax. And it's like the court said, hey, hold on here. They're being subsidized. You can't go back and tax them. They don't own it. They're just renting. And, someone brought it up to me and I'm like, that's why the system is perfect. The legislature can do stupid stuff, but if the courts are doing their part and reviewing it and saying, no, that's wrong, then the legislature can do stupid stuff. You just elect new people in there so they don't get a chance to figure it all out.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. The beauty of democracy, what we have, representative democracy, it is perfect. It's also slow and messy.
Yeah, right.
That's the downside.
Yes. Yeah, we're not getting out of it. They've been playing to get to this end where they're at, where they think they're close to the goal line for over 100 years, at least 58. My whole life, they've been playing to get a stooge in there like Joe, all this chaos.
Yeah.
And again, they don't begin with the end in mind other than we're going to have more power and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter
Right.
the bodies in the
Right.
wake of it.
No, I mean, you stop and think about this. If Joe Biden was a caring man, he would drop out of the race just because of his health for no other reason. Even if he was doing a good job, he'd not only do it for his party, he'd do it or not only for the country, he'd do it for his party. But no, the only thing that matters to him and all these people is holding on to power. That's it.
Yes.
Now, I want to ask you about something. I got someone coming on here. I didn't announce this at the top of the show because we actually haven't set a date. I got a guy, a former prosecutor, is coming on to talk about this thing about these parents of this kid that shot up the school. that they, they were both convicted and to prison a couple days ago. Now I have to. When I first heard about this, my first thought reaction was, "Well, that's absurd. They didn't pull the trigger. I mean, why could you do that?" But then when you hear the actual details about this specific incident, well, it's gross negligence on their part.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering what your thoughts were.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, to me, it's not a Second Amendment deal, right?
Yeah.
These two stupid parents bought a firearm, let the kid have it. It's like giving a drunk bastard your car keys and saying,
Yes,
you'll probably get home okay.
That's right.
And he wipes out a family or
that's
himself.
actually that's a really good analogy, Jeff. That really is. Yeah.
It's no different than a bartender or whatever.
Yeah.
Leaving drugs out on a counter and a little kid takes them. I mean, at some point, and again, I think this is going to start cases where the same thing on, you raise a kid that's a piece of shit, beats everyone up in the neighborhood. They get a gun and they go out and hijack someone. I think this can come back and you can say, hopefully this will show precedence that, hey, the parents of these animals that are out there carjacking could have stopped those kids. And if you can get those parents have to be responsible, like these idiots that gave their kid a gun, then the family is responsible. And in the end, they should be.
Yeah.
You knew these animal kids that are thugs are out there beating the shit out of people and robbing people. I think this could be good in the long run.
I put a note down here actually to ask you about the fact that, and this wasn't my train of thought, but you just stumbled into it, about the fact that how do we get to a point in America where basically there's no one recognizes self-responsibility, or at least the left doesn't. There's no responsibility. It's like, you can do anything.
Right.
There's a famous Bloom County cartoon where the penguin runs around and shoots everybody and says, "Oh, I've got mental disorder," and bang, bang, bang. "Oh, my parents didn't love me." Bang, bang, bang. It's like, it's just bullshit.
Right.
But we are at the point right now where no one wants to recognize any responsibility for doing anything.
And again, the system wants that no responsibility because it keeps the chaos going. But as a citizen that's unprotected from the chaos, you're like, this has got to stop somehow. And so that's how you're going to have to do it is, you got a 19-year-old kid that's never not been in trouble with the law. How much are you responsible for it? 50%. So if the kid gets 10 years, you get 5. Yeah. That'll stop all sorts of shit right away.
Right. You think so?
Well, it will. It just naturally will. I mean, if you can't ship the kid out to someone else and they have to pick up the responsibility, it's yours. A quick DNA test. Who's the parents? And you got 10 years, you get 5.
You saw these kids at Vanderbilt University, they're going, so they did some protest in some building, and the campus police called them out, and their client, did you see this? They're claiming victim. Oh God, it was just pathetic. It's like, we're victims, it's like, well, the school turned, I gotta get them, things are changing, Jeff. The school turned around and expelled all of them. Not all of them, most of them. But,
right.
It's like, but it was so fucking ridiculous. It was unbelievable. I mean, it was embarrassing. It's like, I'm not going to hire any of these kids to do anything. Not even to work at my fast food joint. No, I don't want these people around. It's like, Jesus Christ.
And that's what it is. It's just these little changes that start to happen. It's like in anything, if you have a business that's really suffering, whatever, sales, culture, you can't go in there and just like pull one straw out, everything is better. It's a correction of a lot of small things. It's the little things that count, right? Yeah. It isn't just like, oh, we're going to run an ad, sales are going to improve. Well, if the rest of the business sucks, you're just going to piss off more customers. So it's a bunch of small things. There was an article in CONK about 19 Republicans stopped this warrantless surveillance that has been in the Patriot Act or one of these FISA bills. 193 voted for it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So I think we, as citizens of the United States,
can you clarify this? So it was the 19 voted to remove the warrantless surveillance, right? And
correct.
And 191 voted for it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And so it was a procedural thing, so the thing can't get brought to the big house for a big vote.
Yeah.
So that's what the 19 did. And again, it's you have 4 from Florida, 1 from Colorado, Texas, North Carolina, 3 from Arizona, Virginia, Montana, Tennessee, 2 from South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Clay Higgs from Louisiana. Folks, if you're looking for places to move, these are the kind of districts you want to go to. These are clear thinking people. They figure our government was watching about 200,000 people on average a year without a warrant.
Yeah.
This foreign shit was made to watch bad guys that got in here, not taxpayer. You're paying for your own surveillance if you're working. They're using your tax money to watch you. So anyway, there's a lot of good things going on. It doesn't feel like it because they're little bites of this to destroy this big elephant.
Well, have you noticed this though? It does seem I get this. I am starting to notice a very slow shift in the populace from this liberal bullshit to more conservative stuff. And I don't know if it's a reaction to the liberal bullshit. I don't know what it is, but it seems it's not happening quickly, like you kind of said. It's a slow thing. But I'm starting. My prediction now is that this fall, assuming there's no black swan event, and there might be, because there always is, someone will plan one. But I'm thinking, the way I look at this right now, I think that the Republicans are going to blow out even more than people think they are. In other words, the polls already left leaning. The people are doing the polls, and and a lot of people, especially people who are conservatives, they don't want to talk to the they don't even want to talk to the pollsters, so they're probably underrepresented. I just have the feeling that it's going to be way, way worse for the Democrats than they even think. But
and again, it's going to come down to the minorities, to the blacks finally, to a larger percentage of the blacks that are about to break out into the middle class. They've got jobs, they're working, they're part of the system, the productive side of the system. Can they have a conversation with their family members and get 2 or 3 to come with them to vote for the change? Because that's what it is. You can't take a dumb white suburban broad that wants to shop at fucking Macy's, and unless she gets mugged, just her life is not going to get changed.
That's exactly what I brought up. In every single demographic category, everything's leaning conservative except single white college-educated women.
Yeah, because they're pampered bitches. So who cares?
Yeah, no, and this is the problem. We're getting more and more brazen about saying this shit. I'm watching Gutfeld, I think on Monday night, and he actually said, I thought this was a pretty incredible thing to say on network TV. He said, there are no liberal men. The only men who are liberal are doing it to appease their women. That's it. Now, I know for a fact that's not true, but but as a generalization, he's probably right. Men are completely rejecting this bullshit, totally. And not just white men. It's like black men, Hispanic men. I mean, you look at these statistics, black men are now overwhelmingly conservative,
Yeah, because they understand, I'm not getting anywhere with this mumbo jumbo that the women are telling me I should believe.
Yeah.
That's just And again, it's just incremental changes, and that's what will happen.
Hey, so I don't want to go down a rabbit hole here too far, but what's wrong with the women?
Yeah,
I can't
God,
figure it out.
No. And again, it's not worth it, right? Because
Yeah,
they just look at the world differently, right?
yeah, they do.
You
That's
know,
right.
unless they're mugged, they're like, oh, if there's trouble, this guy's going to help me.
Well, I've told you my theory before, and that is I think that a lot of women try to, so most of them either were, are, or want to be, child rearers, right? At some point they want to have children, and then they look at how they raise their kids, and most women are successful in raising their children, and they say, okay, I'm going to take all this stuff I learned raising these kids and apply it to the world at large, and you can't do that. The only shit that stuff works for is for raising kids. It doesn't work for anything else.
Right.
Because they're kids. And so then they take their stupid liberal ideas and they try to impose it on the populace or society, and it's a massive failure. It doesn't work at all.
Well, yeah, and in the child raising, which is good. I mean, I agree with you. It's because you're the dictator. You're the dictator to the kids. In the end,
that's right.
You have the ultimate authority, and you hold the purse strings and all. I mean, it's a different dynamic than when you get into the workplace. It's like, well, people can choose to leave.
Yeah.
Your kids generally can't make that choice unless
no, they can't.
You're really horseshit parent, and then they just say, screw it, I'll risk it.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, the suburban white chicks,
the only problem is there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, but there's an equal number of conservative women in the suburbs too. They just don't talk about it because they don't want to be, they don't want to be in yoga and everyone's looking at them like, oh, you're one of those. When they're inside, they're like, I am too, but you're getting called out.
Right. And also, I just want to point out that I did say single white college-educated women. Women, it's well known that once they get married, a lot of women become conservative. Mostly because then they see the pervert down the street looking at their kids, and they're thinking, well, if that guy touches my kids, I'm going to kill him, And, so,
and again, the other key there is once they have kids and the system starts to affect their kids without asking them, now they're really conservative.
Yeah, that's right. Because you're right. Now they're a dictator and they've lost power.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I didn't know Johnny was learning about wee-wees. You should have told me first.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
I think you might have to change your title as Jim Biden Peters with all the amount of vacation you've been taking lately.
Oh God, I know it's terrible. It's bad. I know, but I got stuff going on. I got to do
technology, baby.
Yeah. Well, the technology is good. I mean, I don't know if you heard. I got a new camera here. I got new lights. We're putting in a new internet connection. That helps. That'll be good. And I got some other stuff going on I can't talk about on the air. But yeah.
Is that Ilhan Omar approved internet?
Jeffrey, you just amused me. Does she know what the internet is?
She's been pretty quiet.
She is. That's true.
She's been very quiet. She's got some competition.
She does.
By a former Minneapolis city councilman. Can't remember, Don Samuels.
Right. That's right.
A liberal. I mean, he's a declared liberal, but
he's not crazy.
he's sick of seeing his side getting pushed out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Every corner they're getting pushed out of their.
He almost beat her last time.
Yeah.
So it's like it's gonna. And I don't know if you've been following this. All of these people in this quote unquote squad now have very serious competition for their positions. I think there's a good possibility AOC is not going to.
Yeah, she's done. I mean, you can't be that stupid, right?
Yeah,
just say stupid shit and not get eaten up. And she's young, so she doesn't have that She doesn't know how to turn in the middle of a fight and run to the
Right.
corner that's safe.
Right.
She stands out in the middle and keeps getting punched.
And also her local constituents in Queens are really pissed off.
Yeah.
She's not
Well,
paying
they're
any.
hurting in
Yeah,
New
that's right.
York. Everyone's hurting there.
Yeah.
Whether you got money or not, you're hurting because nothing is going right.
That even reminds me of another way that they're gaslighting America about the crime statistics. You know, I don't know if you've been following this the last couple of days. They're saying, well, crime is going down. Well, the reason crime is going down is because now I don't know if I got to get this straight, but you get the idea. That is, if you're arrested and hauled into court and you're let go, if you're not issued a court date, technically it's not a crime. So
Correct.
all these people in New York City who've been arrested and immediately let go, none of that counts. None of in the crime statistics. So
hey, when you get to set the rules,
that's right.
You get to say this is how good it is. And
That's
people, it's good. Just in Minnesota, they haven't had a $17 billion surplus. Our state budget runs on a biennium, so a 2-year deal, which will end in 2025. And they're already predicting a $2 billion shortfall. So they've just about doubled the or added about 40% to the sales tax in the state. So most sales tax in the St. Paul, Minneapolis area is 9.75%, but only a beautiful 20 miles to our east, Wisconsin, is at 5.5. So if you're in the metro area of St. Paul, Minneapolis, just take 94 or take a beautiful drive up and go out Highway 8 or out to St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin, or Hudson, Wisconsin, or La Crescent. Just bring your sales tax dollars over there.
Yeah. You can move 25 miles and miss a lot of this tax shit.
Yeah, or just go buy your stuff over there. I'm not. The commute's a pain in the ass because there's just one main artery that crosses 94 from Hudson into Minnesota, and that there's already a lot of traffic on it. But make your shopping list and go enjoy Hudson, Wisconsin. Save yourself almost half the sales tax.
How can I don't know?
It's real money,
Oh, it is real money for sure. Yeah. I mean, I do the shopping for my family. I've been bitching and moaning about this for like 2 years. It's like, no, prices, and to me, in a realistic level, I don't know how much grocery shopping you do, but realistically, in the last 3 years, the appearance at the grocery store is that prices have gone up 50%. That's the appearance.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not true on every single item.
Well, and I look at how you buy some fruit or a salad, some kind of greens. The shit goes bad in about 4 days because it's been there so long they can't turn it over fast enough because people don't have the money.
I've noticed that too. Yeah.
I'm not blaming the grocery stores. They're screwed. They've got it. They want to try to sell it.
Right.
But it's like, to your point, Barack Obama thought he was cute when he said, "You didn't build this."
Yeah.
And what he started was the spiral of this system, this well-oiled machine, which again, yep, it leaves people out. Yep, it's not fair in a lot of places. But the majority of it was running fairly well. And now he disrupted that. And so now this thing's chugging along. They throw in COVID. Biden didn't know what he was doing. So when he came in and beat Trump, he did not help. He didn't say to the government, okay, we're out of the COVID thing. We're done spending this fake money.
No.
So whatever isn't spent, I'm declaring today it's done. It's gone. We don't owe it. We're not going to spend it. And he might have helped himself or his party, because in the end, Minnesota's been run by Democrats 58 years, 57 of the 58 years I've been alive. They can say what they want if a Republican government gets in there. They're not going to solve the money problem anytime soon. And, if you're at a conversation at a nice breakfast on a Saturday morning and you say, man, the Democrats did a hell of a job pissing $17 billion away,
you'll get shot.
people look at you and go, what? And it's like, hey, can't blame me. Can't blame anyone I voted for. I'm the minority. I'm in the minority.
Yeah, but what do we do about the federal deficit? I mean, $34 trillion. The current budget that the Biden administration has proposed for next year is $7 trillion bucks. And they are making money up like drunken sailors. I just don't understand this. This cannot go on forever. And you were talking about like Trump cutting employment, like some of these agencies. Is somebody that needs to get in there and say, well, we're going to slash the annual budget by 50%. I know people's heads would explode, but it has to be done.
But whose head's going to explode?
Well,
no one that's working. Everyone's going to go, awesome.
Oh yeah, you'd think so.
I got a 50% raise.
No, you're absolutely correct, and you're right, and that's a good point. The people it's the media and politicians, right? The public won't care.
And the media has already picked their side, right? They're on the side of the Titanic that doesn't have any lifeboats. They're done.
They're done.
They're going. True. Yeah.
No.
They're going to go down. And when someone says, "Oh, can you believe this or that isn't available?" Yeah, go on the fucking internet. You can rebuild a car watching YouTube videos. What the hell do you need a library for?
Yeah, it's really
unless you want to watch child porn.
Yeah, no, I mean there's this beautiful new Cesar Pelli library in downtown Minneapolis, and as far as I can tell, it will be the last library building ever built. I don't think they'll build another one.
No,
I don't see any reason to do it.
No. It's a buggy whip. You don't need it.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. Right. Yeah. Man, we got it going on, don't we?
We do.
Oh, hey, let's talk about AI a little bit. So, do you have any thoughts on this? The half the scientific community thinks this is going to end up killing us, and the other half said, it's no bullshit. It's like, right. And I'm looking at the investment in it. Right now, the investment in AI in the stock market is roughly equivalent to what happened with the internet itself in like the late 1990s. You put .com in front of and behind anything, and you could sell a ton of stocks. Nobody really gave a shit. It's the same thing going on. Most people don't even know what AI is, and yet they're throwing money at it. I just find this kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm approaching it like the .com because I got sucked into buying all sorts of shit that had no value. They would fake that it was running up and say, hey, we're going to sell that and go buy some more fake land over here, .com, whatever.
Right.
So number one, to me, it's like when the big companies went overseas to use their customer service and you called to ask a question and some poor person in India tried to fake their English and get you an answer. AI can only do so much. And then you hear that, geez, these guys aren't speaking a true language, so it's fake. I mean, people that want to see art and Picasso's and shit recreated, who cares?
That's what I think. I'm with you.
Yeah. AI is not going to solve your computer issue. YouTube is. You can watch a human being fix it because they have a procedure to eliminate this didn't solve it, go back, go this way. AI, they say they can do that, but it's up to whoever programmed that to get it to think, logically. And we know from watching the Chinese, they've had a closed culture for the majority of their time. They opened it up. And now if you went over there in the early days and said, make me this pen, they had no freaking clue how to do it. Someone had to show them, unscrew it, see how it comes apart, see all the integral parts. This is how it works. I mean, it took them years to figure that shit out. You can't, if you don't know how it works, you can't copy it, even if it's they had the pen. They had no idea.
You know, I have a lot of scientists on this show, and I ask all of them because this really fascinates me. People say, well, AI isn't sentient. And my counter to that is that when would we know if it became sentient? At what point when is the line crossed, and can anybody tell? I mean, right now, I put this on it was actually a show description, and this show did really well. I think partly because of the description. Do you hear about this? The Saudis built this AI robot. I don't know if you heard about this. And so they're debuting it at some convention or something like that. And this female reporter is standing in front of her doing her stand-up. And the robot pinched her in the ass. Now who
someone programmed that.
Well, that's the thing. If someone didn't program that, that's terrible. Something's gone terribly wrong. That's the thing. Either somebody did or somebody didn't. Either way, I don't know. It's like,
somebody did. Let's face it, there were guys involved.
Well, yeah, you're right. Guys write code. That is a general rule, right? Yeah, I know.
You got it.
It's pretty funny, but it's like I've been wondering that. It's like, okay, so if this thing actually becomes intelligent, how would we know? Because right now it just basically mimics people, but I don't know.
To me, what are you going to do about it? It's either going to work or it isn't.
Yeah.
And most of the shit that they say is going to work falls. Look at windmills and solar panels.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh God.
They're as propped up as anything faked. They're the Wizard of Oz.
They are totally.
Wizard of Oz.
And I've always said this, Jeffrey. At least the solar panels actually do kind of work. The windmills, that's completely, totally bogus. It's just bullshit. Yeah. I mean, they're going to put these windmills out in the Atlantic, and they will 50 years from now, they will just be a giant, like sculptural relic. People will go out there, oh, look at this stupid shit, It's like, God, it's just
they'll
awful.
Be spinning in 100-foot wave that they've never seen there, comes in and just takes off all the blades.
That's right. So, Jeffrey, I told you when we were setting this up tonight about the fact that I was going to let you go and then do a little stuff at the end, but I want to do the stuff at the end. I do part 3, which is basically weird shit. So I got 3 things I want to run by you. I want to actually do while you're here. First of all, and I have a photo for this. Here's the headline. I'm a 70-year-old escort who's bonked 1,000 men, including men 50 years younger than me. And so this woman, here it is. You can see her. They show she's a professional escort. That's what she does. She's 70 years old. And now you can't unsee that.
That's right. Thank God for black electrical tape.
Yeah. Yeah. Duct tape's good for everything, man. So, okay, I got another one. This was interesting. Here's a headline again. Trolls say these are real headlines on the internet too. Trolls say my untamed body hair isn't sexy, but that won't stop me from flaunting it. And I don't have a picture of that. You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
No.
And finally, and I've been harping this for about 3 weeks, and I think I sent this to you. I sent like a blast email to a whole bunch of people that I know. The headline is, I was born with 2 vaginas and use 1 for each boyfriend. That's not cheating. I don't know why. I've been laughing about this for 3 weeks. A friend of mine said
again, the problem with that story is our fake progress. That person could be doing the state fair circuit under the freak show tent and making probably a couple $100,000 a week, showing their 2 vaginas to people walking by. Back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s, when those were still at, the 400-pound guy and the sword swallower, all that shit in the freak show tent, you were giving them like 50 cents to get in there. Now they'd be getting a $50 bill.
Yeah.
To see the 2 vaginas.
Well, there's always, I never
and
thought
you
about
can monetize it, but progress has limited the monetization of entrepreneurship for anyone with 2 vaginas.
Those are more wise words have never been said. Oh God! Hey, thanks
Plus,
for
you can have the OnlyFans page and the freak show.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say the modern version of the freak tent is OnlyFans.
Right.
That's the thing. People are making enormous amounts of money. I am I just stupid? But I'm astonished at men are insatiable about watching women like undress and shit. It's like the old joke about that Ron White told us. Like, once you've seen one pair of titties, you want to see all the rest of them.
Yeah. It is. It's amazing how that is. Think of the money jerked out of the economy.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Yeah. Not spent at the grocery store because some cat's got to get his OnlyFans subscription paid up.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Thanks. So we're going to see you next week, a week from tonight. You and Jennifer together.
Jennifer, and it'll be interesting to hear what she has to say about this independent contractor stuff. I know she's been working that story. So,
hey, Jeff, really quick, is there an advantage for the government to do that from a tax basis?
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, you can't cheat if your employer is doing your withholding.
Oh, God. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
What am I thinking? That's absolutely correct. Right. Jesus.
And everyone, I've said this forever. I've said it to my accountants. They're just agents of this freaking government. Why shouldn't everyone just set up an LLC and have their employer hire their LLC so that when you drive to work, that's a business cost. You can write off that fuel, your clothing, all that shit. No one wants to touch that question because you know what? It would bust the system.
It would totally bust the system. Yeah. And not only that, it wouldn't be that hard. I think
hell no.
Here in Minnesota, I think it's $55.
$55. You got your own Jeff Meyer LLC.
Right. You're right. It would bust the
insurance.
system.
I don't want that. I'll take the cash. I got my own through my business.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's always illuminating talking to you.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. And we were actually looking at each other. Yeah. That's modern technology right there. Right. It's like,
this ain't no AI, baby.
No, I'll be replaced by AI at some point.
Yeah. I got to go make sure all 6 garage doors are locked,
Okay, man. All right. So you have a nice week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Okay.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, I should play the. Oh, yeah. I should have done that. I don't know what I didn't play the bumper music. That's Jeff Meyer. He's the CEO and president and publisher of CONK News at CONK.com. That's CONK.com. By the way, we didn't mention when we did a little promo at the top there. It's completely free too. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to sign up for a register or anything. It's a free service. They run some ads on the page, but that's it. So. Yeah, you want to check it out. Really, it's the best news aggregator on the planet. I'm not kidding. Now, and here's once again, if you need to see it, here's the 70-year-old woman who's working as an escort, and like Jeff said, it's like God bless duct tape, huh? Okay, yeah, we know what's going on there. We got it going on. Okay, all right. So I want to thank you folks for watching. We're done for tonight. I did the part 3 thing with Jeff on because I wanted to get his reaction and all those. It's like, the C block. It's the weird stuff. That's where we do the UFO stuff, the paranormal stuff, all that stuff. So, thank you. Thanks for watching. So we're taking tomorrow night off. So we're off tomorrow night. We're going to be back next Monday, Monologue Monday again. I know it's like, 3 times in 3 weeks, but so there's too much news. I mean, we're going to be off now for 4 days. So there's too much shit to talk about. So I do solo Mondays. We don't have guests, if we can avoid it. So, and we have next week we got Dynamic Duo. Jeff's coming back with Jennifer Oliver O'Connell on Wednesday. I got Leigh Richardson the woman. What's the name of that organization? Something about the brain power thing. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get this right. These people are very nice to come here. So she is the founder of the Brain Performance Center in Dallas, Texas. And yeah, we're going to be talking about the fact about her new theory is that the primary reason people are having so much depression issues in America it's diet. That's what she thinks. So I was going to mention that to Jeff too. It's like, and I said this at the top of the show. My wife, I've done 105 episodes of this program. My wife hasn't seen a single one, but this one she might watch. She said she might actually watch this one. So yeah, that's next week. I'm gonna have a good weekend. I got work to do tomorrow, like you care. Uh, yeah, we got it going on. I'm Captain Cupcake. Wishing you a good evening. Good night, Esperanza. Good night, Uncle Donnie, and good night to you wherever you are. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.